Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to the longest running superhero role playing game on Earth. I'm your host, the Game Master, and today we're talking about Black Panther from the Avengers, Storm from the X-Men, Lion-O from Thundercats, Cobra from G.I. Joe, and just all sorts of things. But before we get into that, smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and leave us a comment. That helps us out with the YouTube algorithm, but also we love to hear from you guys. We've got a great community here, and it's all thanks to you. So thank you so much for being here. So, all that said, let's dive in. The prologue to today's story is just a quick recap of the last game when Zartan's daughter Zanya journeyed to a chain of floating islands called Themyscira, the name of which is a mashup of the words Themyscira and Asgard, both of which had been destroyed previously in our game world. So now the female Asgardians and the Amazons have teamed up and are living together in these islands in the sky. Both groups have a Chariots of the Gods vibe, and as such, they both have a variety of high tech gadgets, one of which is the anti gravity technology that allows these islands to float. So Zanya steals the blueprints for one of these anti gravity generators and takes it back to Cobra Commander. Which brings us to the main plot of today's tale when the Cobra mothership enters Egyptian airspace. And for those that don't know, the Cobra mothership appeared on the G.I. Joe animated series in the 1980s, and it looks like a colossal flying saucer. And in classic Cobra fashion, it has a giant snake head on the front of it. So the saucer shape itself represents the Cobra's hood. It's not logical, but that's okay. A lot of those old 80s cartoons used visual language. And I am super nostalgic for things like flying saucers with snakeheads. So if at any point I sound like I am throwing those old cartoons under the bus, I am not. Rather, I'm trying to pay tribute to them. Anyways, so Cobra shows up over the pyramids and uses their new anti gravity technology to lift the pyramids and set them to the side. And just as the islands of Themyscira don't break apart or lose dirt, etc., the individual stone blocks of the pyramids don't come apart or fall. Instead, we get a situation that in our mind's eye reads very much like an episode of the old cartoon. So once the pyramids are moved to the side, what we see underneath them looks a lot like those bottomless pits on the Death Star. Cobra Commander is on the mothership, and he is still wearing the headmaster armor that we saw him in last time we had an adventure with him. Also, on the mothership is an old Decepticon space bridge that Cobra stole. Cobra Commander orders his troops to go down to the pits and see what's down there. So trouble bubbles descend down, as do Cobra troopers using metallic hang glider like devices. That's when the player characters show up, and we broke them into two groups. The first group were from Wakanda. One is Storm, and the other is Black Panther. And to be clear, these two are siblings. Their mother is Queen Chimera. Her first appearance in the comics was Wolverine and the X-Men, issue number 36, back in 2013. And as soon as we saw her, we said she was the leader of Africa in our game world. Her mother is the original Storm, who would be about 70 years old now in our game because we use real time. And her father is the original T'Challa, who unfortunately died fighting Ulysses Claw in 1994 when we ran a game based on Fantastic Force issue number 1. When our version of T'Challa died, it kicked off a series of events not unlike what we saw on Game of Thrones when Robert Baratheon died. Suddenly, all sorts of people wanted to be the new ruler of Wakanda. And it was actually Killmonger in our game who took the throne and then used the advanced technology that Wakanda had, and he conquered all of Africa. The original Storm during this time raised her children in secret. And when they came of age, they challenged Killmonger. The son of Storm and T'Challa was Azari. He killed Killmonger and became the newest Black Panther. And he ruled this new united Africa with peace and justice until the big Blackest Night / Marvel Zombies event that we ran back in 2009, at which time, unfortunately, Azari became a Black Lantern. When he died, there was once again a power vacuum, and this time it was his sister, Chimera, who became queen. So for a decade and a half, she has ruled Africa. She also married a man named Johanna, and neither one of them is thrilled that Cobra Commander is trying to plunder Egypt. So the forces of Wakanda engage Cobra in battle. Also here are the Thundercats, led by Lion-O. In our game, when the Crisis on Infinite Earths took place in the mid-1980s, the Thundercats were summoned here from Third Earth. Mum-Ra set up shop in an Egyptian pyramid where he once more asked the ancient spirits of evil to transform his decayed form into Mum-Ra the Ever-Living. And of course, since Mum-Ra was in Egypt, then the Thundercats followed. And they have been the protectors of Egypt since the mid 1980s. So they aren't thrilled with Cobra either. So when Panthro shows up, he grabs his tank and throws it. Kitara runs around at super speed, disabling Cobra's various ground vehicles, like ferrets, which are blue four-wheelers with red trim, and stingers, which are black and gray Jeeps. Lion-O uses the Sword of Omens on the various aircraft here, shooting them out of the sky with red energy blasts. Meanwhile, Storm summons up some tornadoes, which she sends after the Cobra mothership itself, ripping through the ship's hull, doing insane amounts of damage to it. As she is doing that, her brother, T'Challa II, reaches the bottom of one of these huge high-tech pits, and he finds an underground city. This place was built by Hawkman and Hawkgirl when they first arrived on Earth in ancient times. And after they no longer ruled ancient Egypt, Hang the Conqueror took their place using the name Rama-Tut. And since he was a time traveler, that means this underground Thanagarian facility not only has ancient technology, but also technology from future centuries. So the equipment in here could literally change the world. So it's no wonder that Cobra Commander wants it. Speaking of which, on the Cobra mothership, the space bridge is activated. Cobra Commander and Zanya make their escape just in time. Then the tornadoes shred the mothership. The Cobra troopers are arrested and put on trial. Moving the pyramids is seen as a violation not only of the law, but of traditions, and is seen as a grave spiritual insult to the people of Africa as a whole. So, after a lengthy trial, the White Ape cult executes the Cobra troopers. This is partially a warning to anyone who might dare to think of doing likewise. Cobra Commander and Zanya watched this on a giant view screen in the Cobra base that they fled to, and Cobra Commander brings his metal fists down on the control console. As he has his tantrum, Zanya's mind drifts back to Persephone, who she hurt. And now it seems like it was all for nothing. Which brings us to the epilogue. The Amazons and Asgardians contact Queen Chimera, then fly to Egypt in a Lancinarian starship that is basically the ultimate evolution of the invisible jet. This transparent liquid metal ship shines like iridescent crystal, and on board is the same anti gravity technology that moved the pyramids. So Queen Diana is happy to put them right back where they belong, covering those pits. Of course, the people of Wakanda recovered Ramatut's future technology first, before the ancient Thanagarian complex was sealed up. Queen Diana and Princess Torun Thorsdaughter give the people of Wakanda the blueprints to how their anti gravity technology works. And in return, Queen Chimera shares with Diana some of the future tech that Ramatut had too. And this is just the beginning. In the days to come, Earth K is going to be getting more and more high tech. But that is, of course, a story for another day. We enjoyed this. We hope you did too. If so, as always, we would love it if you chose to support our humble little channel by smashing that like button, checking to make sure you're subscribed because YouTube loves to unsubscribe you and not tell you, and leave us a comment. And from all of us here at the longest running superhero role playing game on earth, we hope you have a good one, and we'll see you in the next adventure. Bye.